I will call the November 15th, 2022 regular meeting of the Mill Creek Township Board of Supervisors to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Supervisor elect will be participating as we. Good morning, Dan. Can everyone hear him okay? Good. Okay. Mill Creek Township Police Department promotions.
Because we have the honor of announcing that we do have someone who is going to become deputy chief, who then will be filling the role of the chief of police of Mill Creek Township. Captain Carter Mook, it has been an honor to get to know you over this last year. Chief Height will be retiring at the end. And Township interviewed many qualified police officers that are a part of Mill Creek Township. And I know I speak for them as well in congratulating you as you take this next step. Captain Carter Mook will be deputy chief, and he will be working with Chief Height until the end of He's sworn in as the next Mill Creek Township Chief of Police. So what does Deputy Chief Mook, what does he, information about I've got to practice this. Deputy Chief Mook. Carter Mook is a 28-year veteran of the Mill Creek Police. Was first promoted to corporal in 2005, and he served as a field training officer and patrol supervisor. In 2006, Mook was appointed to the department's traffic section commander. In this position, Mook assumed the role of lead traffic. He became an accredited crash reconstructionist and served the department for 15 years in the investigation of serious injury and fatal motor vehicle accidents. 9 was promoted to lieutenant in patrol and commanded the 1st platoon for 5 years, which was comprised of 13 officers. In 2014, Mook was promoted to captain, and he has commanded the patrol division for nearly 9 years. The patrol division is comprised of 47 officers. He has also assumed the role of incident commander for the SWAT team. While serving as the patrol commander, Mook has furthered his leadership skills, and in 2022 graduate of the FBI's Law Enforcement Executive Development Association's Trilogy Program. The reason that this is such an important part of Mill Creek Township is, above all, our residents and people that are looking to move into our area are looking for safety. You are going to be leading us into this new era of Mill Creek Township. I've witnessed your vision in what you would like to see the future of Mill Creek Township and this police department to look like. And I'm honored to stand beside you as you do that, Captain Mook. So congratulations. Round of applause. I would like to make a motion to promote Captain Mook to, with the salary provided, to the title of Deputy Chief of Mill Creek Township Police Department.
I'll second that motion.
Okay.
And that would be effective as of 11/1 of 2022.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll call for a vote. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Congratulations, Deputy Chief Mook. We'll do the chief. Okay. I would just like to also say that Chief Height was not able to be with us today because he is out of town getting some vehicles for us. Deputy Chief Mook, is there anything you would like to say?
Thank you. I'm looking forward to the opportunity. I have 2 additional promotions to request in the Patrol Division due to the recent retirement of Lieutenant Scott Irwin. First, I'm requesting that Corporal Michael Panighetti be promoted to Sergeant. Panighetti is a 15-year veteran of the Mill Creek Police Department. He has spent his entire career in the Patrol Division. Panighetti has been a member of the MPD SWAT team since 2010. He currently serves as a sniper on the team and as a part-time team leader. Panighetti has served as a field training officer since 2011, and earlier this year he was named the coordinator of the program. There was a need to modernize the program. Panighetti took the lead on these improvements, and the new approach was successfully implemented with our most recent group of new hires. Panighetti was promoted to Patrol Corporal in 2016. He has been serving in the role of acting sergeant for the last 7 months due to an extended medical leave of absence by another supervisor. Panighetti will continue to serve the Patrol Division on the 3rd Platoon, where he has already worked to mentor a group of younger officers under his command. Additionally, I'm requesting that Detective Ryan Presnar be promoted to Patrol Corporal. Presnar is an 8-year veteran of the Mill Creek Police Department. He served in the Patrol Division for 4.5 years and took a special interest into drug investigations. In 2018, Presnar was assigned as a detective to the Special Investigations Unit, where he became a part of the District Attorney's Drug Task Force and the Office of Attorney General's Drug Task Force. Presnar has investigated several large-scale illicit drug operations in Mill Creek Township, the City of Erie, and Erie County, the most recent being the large narcotics seizure earlier this year on Springland Terrace in the township. From Presnar's current role in the Special Investigations Unit, he has taken it upon himself to mentor several patrol officers who have also demonstrated a specialized interest in drug investigations. Presnar will serve in the role of corporal on the 3rd Platoon in patrol, where he will continue to display his mentorship and leadership skills. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve these promotions as presented?
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve both Panighetti and Presnar.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Olet. Call for a vote. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
I vote yes.
And I vote yes. Congratulations.
Congratulations. If you would like to be excused for your party out there, you can do that at this time. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here. I never felt so safe in my life.
The lone wolf.
Thank you, Dennis. Okay. Next up is public comment on agenda items other than development or rezoning. Anybody comment? Hearing no comments, we'll move on to approval of the minutes from the October 25th, 2022 regular meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes?
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next up, approval of the bills. Any questions or comments on the bills?
No, I'll make a motion to approve the bills?
Okay.
I will second.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, we have several bids and quotations. First up is the Lake Pleasant Pump Station Pump, Public Works.
Thank you. Good morning. The Sewer Department is seeking approval to purchase a new Barnes 4-inch pump for the Lake Pleasant Pump Station. One of the existing pumps is nearing the end of its useful life. This pump will be purchased from Miller Pump Supply for the price of $7,667.65 under CoStar's contract 541212-2022-02-SB. Funds for this pump will be taken from the Sewer Department expense budget. It is my recommendation to purchase this pump from Miller Supply for the CoStar's price of $7,667.65.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the purchase of the pump?
Make a motion to purchase the pump?
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, I'll call for a vote on that. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next up, Mill Street Pipelining.
The Streets Department is seeking approval to hire National Gunite to line the invert of 550 feet of 36-inch corrugated metal pipe along Mill Street and 230 feet of 60-inch corrugated metal pipe along West 54th Street, per the attached quote. Total cost for this project will be $141,345 under CoStar's contract 41-006. Funds for this project will be taken from the pipelining line of the Streets Department capital budget, leaving a balance of $687. It is my recommendation to contract this work to National Gunite at the CoStar's price of $141,345.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve National Gunite for the pipelining?
Yes, I will make a motion for National Gunite.
And I will second.
Okay, I'll call for a vote. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I will vote yes. Next up is the Mill Creek Township paving project, change order number 1.
Attached to this request, you will see the final invoice for this year's paving project. Monetary overages for this year's project total $48,355.51. This overage is to cover the following quantities: 882.63 tons of leveling course, 5,028.24 tons of wearing course, 28.32 tons of 25 millimeter base course, 2 ADA ramps, and 2 ADA level turning pads. Funds for this will be taken from the township's general fund. It is my recommendation to approve this final invoice from Lindy Paving.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion to approve this final invoice?
Yes, motion to approve final invoice.
I'll second.
Okay, call for a vote. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I will vote yes. Next up is snowplow.
The Streets Department is seeking approval to purchase a new snowplow to replace a damaged one from last winter. This plow will come from U.S. Municipal for the price of $14,208.36 under CoStar's contract 025-E22-441. $7,179 will come from the Streets Department contingency line, and the balance will come from the federal aid fund. It is my recommendation to purchase this snowplow from U.S. Municipal for the CoStar's price of $14,208.36.
So you really think we're going to need it this winter, huh? Okay.
I hope we don't.
Is there a motion to approve the snowplow?
I suppose I will
right.
make a motion to approve a snowplow. Waste of, no.
I'll second.
Dan, what do you think? Okay, Dan seconds. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I'll vote yes. Next up, a MIG welder.
The garage is seeking approval to purchase a Lincoln 210 MP MIG welder with a water-cooled torch and fume extractor. These items will be purchased from Welder Supply for a total price of $10,941.97. Funds for these items will be taken from the MIG welder line of the fleet maintenance capital budget, leaving a balance of $58.03. It is my recommendation to purchase these items from Welder Supply for the price of $10,941.97.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the MIG welder?
I'm sorry. I thought it was just, it's a water-cooled torch and a fume extractor. It's like crazy. I would like to see this, by the way, Mr. Donikowski, someday. I'll make a motion to approve.
Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next up, we have a concrete slab for Garage 1.
The garage is seeking approval to have a new 60 by 25 foot concrete pad poured on the north side of Garage 2. Quotes were received as follows. Mayer Brothers Incorporated, $17,200. Stoger Concrete, also $17,200. And Amendola Construction with a quote of $19,875. Funds for this work will be taken from the concrete capital budget, leaving a balance of $9,800. Two low bids being the same price. My recommendation is complete this year.
Thank you. Motion to approve the concrete.
Approve Mayer Brothers contract.
Call for
Yeah.
con-
ESI is a sole source provider for this equipment. This tester is to monitor intersections to comply from the 4 control computer from ATSI $2, and I getting the
Is there,
Yes. Motion.
systems.
The Traffic Department advertised for bids on October 27th, 2022 and October 31st, 2022 for 5 each battery backup systems to operate traffic signals along the Peach Street corridor. One quote was received from Signal Service Incorporated for the price of $24,500. Funds for this will be taken from the UPS line of the Traffic Department capital budget, leaving a balance of $2,500. It is my recommendation to purchase this equipment from Signal Service, Inc. for the price of $24,500.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the battery backups?
Motion to approve the battery backups.
I'll second.
Okay. Call for a vote. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Limited lodging monitoring software. Sir?
Thank you. Good morning. Planning and Development sought information on software to assist in the tracking of limited lodgings in the township. 3 vendors were contacted and only one responded to our request. Granicus Software of St. Paul, Minnesota provided us with a quote for a package containing 3 of their modules: compliance monitoring and 24/7 hotline. The address identification module would monitor over 60 rental platforms and identify all of the listings in Mill Creek. It then runs those through an address verification process to provide the township with the owner information for each listing. Compliance monitoring is tailored to our ordinance and will identify the status of each listing, whether it's permitted or non-permitted. It tracks and records all activity on each listing and keeps those in a record accessible to the township. It can also send out customized letters to property owners directly from the software. And the 24/7 hotline provides a web and telephone hotline for citizens to report complaints stemming from limited lodging rentals. The call center will automatically notify the owner or person in charge of the rental as to the violation, and it will record and track the complaint and any response. This module also includes a dashboard to allow us to track complaint volumes, trends, and categories. The annual cost of the software license is $4,760. A portion of the cost would be offset through limited lodging permit fees. Granicus is currently providing limited lodging software to 6 municipalities in the Commonwealth, including the city of Lancaster. It is also being used in the Borough of State College, which, as the host municipality for Penn State, has a large number of limited lodging units in its jurisdiction. The software will automatically track limited lodgings in the township and save many hours of staff time that would be lost to research. The hotline will provide a simple, unified method to manage issues that may arise outside of normal hours. I recommend that the board approve the 1-year license agreement with Granicus and authorize the chair to sign the attached proposal.
Thank you, Matt. Any questions or comments on this?
I want to, Mr. Chairman, I would like to just thank Matt Waldinger for the research that he did on this software package to aid us in our limited lodging, I guess, monitoring, because I know this is new territory for us. So this will be interesting. I'm very excited that we have a resource like this available. So thank you. And I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. Second. Call for a vote. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, number 8 on our agenda is ordinance 2022-8, an ordinance of the Township of Mill Creek, Erie County, Pennsylvania, amending and restating Chapter 121, Streets and Sidewalks, Article 1, Sidewalk Construction and Maintenance, and amending and renumbering Article 2, Excavations within Rights-of-Way of the Mill Creek Township Code. Mr. Shaw?
Yes, thank you. We are updating the township sidewalk ordinance as a result of the recent final settlement with Voices, the Voices for Independence matter under the ADA. It was determined that the various aspects of the ordinance needed to be updated to account for additional obligations and responsibilities relating to the construction and maintenance of sidewalks within the township. The proposed amendments clarify the scope of the township's authority to require construction, reconstruction, repair, and maintenance of sidewalks, and how the costs of the sidewalk activities. The modifications all more clearly require and other applicable state and federal laws in the construction and maintenance of sidewalks and curb ramps and blended transitions. The amendments also streamline various administrative matters, such as requests for application. The amendments also specifically timely removal of snow and debris. And if you indulge me, I would like to read the section of the ordinance for folks' benefits that may be watching here. But under the revised ordinance, the owner, occupant, or tenant of every property abutting a public street or highway along which a sidewalk exists shall have the duty and responsibility to keep such sidewalks clear of all accumulation of snow and or ice of a depth in excess of 2 inches shall be removed from the sidewalks within 24 hours after the precipitation causing the same shall have ceased. Such snow and/or ice shall be completely cleared from the sidewalk, exposing the wearing surface of the sidewalk to a width of not less than 48 inches, or the actual width of the sidewalk, whichever is less. No person removing snow and/or ice from a sidewalk as required by this article, or removing snow or ice from any portion of the property, shall deposit such snow or ice in or upon any public street or highway between the curb lines of each street. Should a person fail, neglect, or refuse to remove any snow and/or ice from any sidewalk as required in this article, the township may post a notice on the property that snow and/or ice must be removed from the sidewalk within 24 hours. If the notice is not complied with, the township may, but shall not be obligated to remove such snow and/or ice. And in the event that the township elects to remove such snow or ice, any duly authorized employee or contractor of the township is authorized to remove such snow or ice. The property owner then shall be liable to the township for all costs and expenses incurred by the township in removing the snow or ice, with costs and expenses in addition. Those costs and expenses shall be in addition to any penalties for violations of this article. If those costs are not paid within 30 days, the township is authorized to file a municipal lien against that property or otherwise collect the sums due as authorized by law. Mill Creek may remove snow or ice as provided above without notice in an emergency situation. So it's really important for folks when we have snow events to promptly remove the snow or ice from their sidewalks, not only frankly for their benefit, but really for the benefit of those that reside around them and use those sidewalks to traverse. In addition, we have updated the penalties and enforcement provisions, and the violations of this ordinance range from $300 to $600 and would be enforced as civil penalties. So with that, I would recommend that the board approve and adopt this ordinance 2022-8.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2022-8?
Yes, I will make a motion to approve the sidewalk ordinance.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second. I'll call for a vote. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Okay, and just to be clear, Mr. Shaw, this requires all of our residents to keep their sidewalks clear with 2 inches of snow or more.
Yes, and not only residents, but also business
And
owners
business
and
owners.
property owners throughout the township.
Okay.
The typical issue that we see is frankly in the commercial areas where the snowplows tend to use the sidewalks as their dumping ground and, really create havoc with, the ability of people to, traverse those sidewalks, after storms. So it's really important for people to promptly take action to remove the snow and
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Number 9, ordinance 2022-9, an ordinance of the Township of Mill Creek, Erie County, Pennsylvania, temporarily amending Chapter 129, Taxation, Article 7, Volunteer Service Tax Credit, Section 125-50A of the Mill Creek Township Code to reduce the participation points required for qualifying volunteers for the 2022 tax year. Mr. Shaw?
Yes, under this proposed ordinance, the participation points needed to qualify for the volunteer service tax credit will again be reduced to 75 for the year 2022. Under the original ordinance, the participation hours to qualify was set at 150 in conjunction with the fire chiefs. In 2020 and 2021, that amount was reduced at the request of the fire chiefs as a result of the impact of COVID-19. The fire department is continuing to see the impact of COVID-19 and requested again this year to maintain a reduced level of participation hours. The data would appear to remain significantly lower than pre-COVID, in part due to restricting some of the types of calls to respond to. And at their October 2nd, 2022 meeting, the board adopted the recommendation of the Fire Commission to reduce the number of points to 75. This ordinance formally adopts that reduction in points from 150 to 75 for the year 2022. The required point level for 2023 will remain at 150 unless otherwise subsequently modified by the board. So the recommendation would be to approve this ordinance.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve this ordinance.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Number 10 on our agenda, Resolution 2022-R49, a resolution to amend and restate regulations establishing amounts of fees and deposits required or allowed under state law and various township code provisions, and to establish fee amounts related to administration of the limited lodging ordinance. Matt?
Thank you. This resolution amends our current fee resolution 2018 R8 as otherwise amended to add fees for limited lodging permits to Appendix 8, the Office of Emergency Management and Code Enforcement Operational Permit Fee Schedule. It adds the following fees related to limited lodging permits. First, the initial application or permit fee is set at $300. An annual renewal application fee is set at $120, and a reinspection or pre-inspection fee is set at $50. These fees were calculated using the average staff time to process and approve the permits and each staff member's fully loaded hourly rate. They also include certain costs and fees, such as the software that we previously discussed in this meeting. The initial permit fee covers the extra work necessary for inspection and establishment of a limited lodging in the township. Both the initial and annual renewal fees cover the issuance of the required zoning use certificate if all criteria is met. The reinspection fee covers additional trips by an inspector to review a previously failed inspection. The Office of Code Enforcement will conduct a pre-inspection for a property owner to assist them in preparing for the permitting process. If the owner then follows through with obtaining a permit, the pre-inspection fee would be waived as being included in the initial permit fee. If the owner decides to not seek a permit following the inspection, they would then be subject to the $50 charge. I recommend that the board approve Resolution 2022-R49 establishing these limited lodging fees.
Thank you, Matt. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 2022-R49?
Yes. Motion to approve the limited lodging fees.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second. I'll call for a vote on this. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Next, Resolution 2022-R50, a resolution of the Township of Mill Creek Township, Erie County, Pennsylvania, to join a national effort to support local, independently owned small businesses in Mill Creek Township on the Saturday after Thanksgiving, November 26th, 2022. Kim?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Let's go shop small on Small Business Saturday. We are going to be passing a resolution today in support of our small businesses. Black Friday tends to be kind of a large corporation business day, but we do want to make sure that we are supporting our local economy and all of our local vendors and business owners. So yes, we are encouraging our residents and actually all of Erie County to come on down to Mill Creek and support our small businesses here.
Okay. Awesome. All right.
So I'm going to make a motion to approve Small Business Saturday as an official. We're not really making it a holiday, I guess, are we? We're just saying that Saturday after Thanksgiving, November 26th, we are encouraging small business shopping.
Okay. Sounds good.
Make a motion.
Do we have a second to that motion?
I will second.
Okay. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Get out the credit card.
Resolution 2022 R51, a resolution to approve funding to the Mill Creek Township General Authority for 2022. Mr. Shaw?
Yes, thank you. On October 19th of 2022, the Mill Creek Township General Authority was incorporated by Mill Creek Township. The authority was given all the powers afforded to it under the Municipality Authorities Act to carry out all projects and activities which an authority is authorized to perform under the Act, and in particular is focusing on the implementation of the Presque Isle Gateway District Plan that was adopted by Mill Creek Township as part of its comprehensive plan. The authority needs funding to begin operations and to pursue the above purposes of the authority, and pursuant to sections 1505, 1506, and 1548 of the Second Class Township Code and section 5607 of the Municipality Authorities Act, the township may grant monies to the authority, and the authority may receive grant funds from a municipality. The township has determined to make a grant of $1 million to enable the authority to begin operations and to pursue the purposes of the authority. These funds will come from the monies received for the sale of the water system to Erie Water Works several years ago. The recommendation would be to approve Resolution 2022 R51.
I'd like to make a motion to approve R22, 2022 R51.
I will second.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Call for a vote. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
I vote yes.
And I vote yes. Next, Resolution 2022 R52, a resolution to approve the annual budget of the Erie Area Council of Governments, also known as the COG, for the calendar year ending December 31st, 2023. Kim, you want to handle that?
Sure, yes. Mill Creek Township is a proud member of the Erie Area COG organization, the Council of Governments, and each of the municipalities that belong to the Erie Area Council of Governments must make a resolution to approve the annual budget financial activities for the 2023 year. So that is something that I'm going to make a motion to approve this resolution.
Okay, this is something we do annually, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
every year.
Okay, is there a second?
Okay, I will second.
Okay, Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Number 14, Green Light Go Grant Agreement and Authorization to Order Equipment. Rob?
Thank you. The Traffic Department is requesting that the board approve the attached Green Light Go grant agreement. This reimbursement grant agreement totals $335,000 with the township's match being 20%. All monies will be used to make improvements along the Peach Street corridor within the township. With the approval of this agreement, the Traffic Department is also seeking approval to start purchasing the equipment covered under this agreement. It is my recommendation to approve this agreement and allow the Traffic Department to start purchasing equipment.
Okay. Sounds good. Any questions on the Green Light Go grant agreement?
Motion to approve the Green Light Go.
Okay.
I will second.
Okay, we have a second. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes as well.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I'd just like to point out that I think that Jeff Tenney did a lot of work in order to ensure that this occurred and happened. He filled out a grant application, is that correct? So I just want to give a shout out to Jeff Tenney. Thank you very much, Jeff. I know the department does.
Yeah, Jeff does all the traffic signals in the township along with Tom Berlin, and
Yes.
they do a fantastic job.
Between that and signs, we are well taken care of and safe.
Busy stuff. Okay, 2022 RACP Award Acceptance for Presque Isle Gateway District Improvements. Round 2. Matt?
Yes, thank you. As you're well aware, the township was officially notified that we have received a Redevelopment Assistance Capital Program grant from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Office of the Budget. We would like to thank Governor Wolf and Representative Ryan Bizzaro, Senator Dan Laughlin, the staff of the DCED, who has helped us, obtain this grant. The department does require that we officially notify them that we will be accepting the $3 million grant, and so that's what the letter in front of you does. Additionally, we are required to make certain stipulations that we will follow specific program requirements of the RACP funds, things such as following a competitive bidding process, the method in which we procure steel products, that we follow the Trade Practices Act, et cetera. So this letter also makes those assurances to the Commonwealth that we will follow all of the standard grant requirements. So at this time, I would recommend that the board vote to accept the RACP grant of $3 million to make the required make the required statements as to us following the grant requirements, and authorize the chairman to sign this letter to be sent to the Commonwealth.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on this?
No, can I make a quick comment?
Certainly.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I want to thank, first of all, Matt Waldinger for all of the work that he has done for years, getting us to this point where we now can say we have $3.5 million for this Gateway project. I know this was a part of your vision, Matt, and what this means to you. So I want to thank you publicly very much for all of the work that you did. I guess I also would like to thank Representative Bizzarro and also Senator Laughlin for their support as well down in Harrisburg. And also would like to give a big thank you to Governor Wolf for seeing how important this project is to our area. So thank you very much. And I'll make a motion to approve the acceptance of the RACP $3 million for our project award.
Okay, very good.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second from Dan. Call for a vote. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Tax Assessment Consent Decree. Mr. Shaw?
Yes, thank you. This is a settlement between LECOM, the Mill Creek Township School District, the Township, and the Erie County Board of Assessment Appeals relating to a tax assessment appeal filed by the school district against properties located at 4716 Peach Street, 4740 Peach Street that are owned by LECOM. The parties have reached a settlement on the property's assessed value of $700,000 to be apportioned among the parcels for all tax years at issue, which are 2023 and 2024. My recommendation is that the Board of Supervisors approve the settlement and authorize McDonald, Lloyd Jones, and Britton to execute it on behalf of the township. Please note the version before you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Is there a motion to approve this, this consent decree as presented?
Motion to approve the consent decree.
I'll second.
Okay. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. We have a couple financial security release requests. The first one is from Pacific Avenue Development, Supportive Living Services, Inc., developer. Matt?
Thank you. Yes. Oh, sorry. There we go. Thank you. The first is for Pacific Avenue Development Land Development Plan, Supportive Services or Supported Living Services, Inc. They have asked for release of their letter of credit for this project. Greenman Peterson Incorporated, the township's contracted third-party inspection firm, has issued a letter stating that they are in reasonable conformity with their requirements. It's also been inspected by the township engineer, Ann Sokol. She has included release of security form in your packet. So at this time, I would recommend that the township release First National Bank letter of credit number 3540 in the amount of $106,629 for the Supportive Living Services Incorporated.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on this security release? Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the security release.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The other security release request is from OnJib Developer, property at 3531 Westlake Road.
Yes, this is a little different request from the previous. The previous was for a development that was completed according to township specifications. In this case, for the OnJib development, the developer, OnJib LLC, has notified the township that the project has been canceled and has requested release of their financial security. As the land development plan has already been approved and recorded along with several agreements, the township followed procedures they have used previously in cases like this. In front of you today is an amendment to land development agreements between OnJib LLC and the township, terminating the previous agreements between the company and Mill Creek relative to this development. It also includes conditions to release the financial security, requiring that all structures be demolished and all the debris removed prior to release. This agreement has been signed by the developer and will be recorded once approved by the township. I would recommend that the board take 2 actions today relative to the OnJib project. The first would be to approve the amendment to the land development agreements and authorize the chair to sign. Second, I would recommend that the board approve the release of Erie Bank Letter of Credit number 1, amount of $176 once the developer has met the terms of the agreement by demolishing debris.
Security release request? No? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, can I make a motion to, I don't know if I can do 2 actions in one, but I was going to say to approve both of the suggestions from Mr. Waldinger.
Yes, to,
I don't know if I'm allowed to do 2 at once.
That's appropriate.
Okay.
okay, we can do 2 at once to approve the amended land development plan and authorize the chair to sign that, and then to approve the security release.
Yes. Okay.
Very
Great.
good.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we have a motion.
Then I'll make that motion then to approve both the amendment and the then release.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second from Dan. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I will vote yes. Okay, number 18 on our agenda, Stormwater Maintenance Agreement and Management Plan, 5817 Echo Hill Lane, Levi A. and Kimberly A. Marsh, developer. Matt?
Yes, thank you. Levi A. and Kimberly A. Hill Lane that requires stormwater management. In front of you is a agreement, a stormwater maintenance agreement signed by the Marshes stating that they will maintain the facility. The improve township near. This time I would recommend that the township or the board vote that the township accept the stormwater management plan and maintenance between.
I hear a motion to approve this maintenance agreement and management plan.
Yes, I will make a motion for the stormwater maintenance agreement management plan.
Sorry about that. I'll second.
That's okay, Dan. We have a second. We'll call for a vote.
Yes.
And we have a sidewalk deferral request from the same address and the same developer. Mr. Walden.
Thank you. Also requested a sidewalk deferral for the property at 5817 Echo Hill Lane. There are no sidewalks in the immediate vicinity. And so at this time, I'm sorry, and I should state that the Marshes have signed a sidewalk deferral agreement, which states that they would construct the sidewalk if required by the township or if adjacent properties installed sidewalks. So at this time, I would recommend that the board approve this sidewalk deferral agreement with the Marshes for this property on Echo Hill Lane.
Okay, very good. Motion to approve the sidewalk deferral request for 5817 Echo Hill Lane.
Yes, I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, we have Planning Commission and Zoning Hearing Board appointments. Matt?
Thank you. This is just a reminder, I know we've mentioned it the last couple meetings, that we do have a couple of openings, at least one on our Planning Commission and one for an alternate on our Zoning Hearing Board. The township is accepting interest from residents who wish to serve on these two boards. I have spoken to at least one person that has interest in the Planning Commission position, but we would be, interested to hear if anybody else would like to serve in those capacities.
Wow, what an opportunity. Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, I didn't ask permission first.
Permission granted.
Thank you. Mr. Waldinger, what kind of time is needed to devote to this? If one of our 55,000 residents would like to be a part of our Planning Commission?
They're both very similar
zoning.
with a few slight differences. For most of them, there's one meeting a month. There's actually only 11 meetings at the Zoning Hearing Board. They have a combined November-December meeting. But there's one meeting a month that typically is anywhere from an hour to 2 hour commitment. We would expect that members would spend another 2 or 3 hours during the month reviewing the information we send them and the cases that would be before them at each meeting. So it's not a large time commitment. I would estimate maybe 5 hours a month.
Wow, 5 hours a month to give back to your community. I'm sure we're going to have a ton of people out there now, lining up at the door to fill some of these positions. So that's the Planning Commission and the Zoning Hearing Board.
Correct.
And the Zoning Hearing Board, and both of these entities, just for people that don't know, hear from residents. And when they're looking for some to be considered for, maybe, go ahead, if they don't quite fit the ordinance,
That's
then.
fine. Well, for the Planning Commission, yes, they hold a public hearing on any subdivisions or land developments, a few other matters, and
Thing. The recommendation is to approve 2 officers to attend a National Tactical Officers Association police response to active shooter instructor training. That's a lot to say in one sentence there. But this is in Newcastle, March 6th through March 9th, and the cost estimate is $2,480.50. So I'll make a motion to approve the training for the active shooter instructor.
Okay. We have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Call for a vote. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, another training request?
This is for approval of 4 officers to travel to Pittsfield, Massachusetts, November 15th, actually today, through the 17th, for acceptance training and delivery of armored rescue vehicle.
It also includes the chief.
Yes, oh, I'm so sorry, 4 officers and the chief, that's right, which is why he isn't here today, because they had to go and pick up the armored and be trained in how to use it.
Can't imagine why he'd pick going to ride in an armored vehicle as opposed to sitting here at our meeting.
I know, right?
I know. Well,
I know.
we'll talk to him when he gets back.
Okay.
Okay. So, did you make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve that whatever it is.
Okay. Do we have a second?
The trip.
I'll second.
Okay. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet?
Yes.
I vote yes. Okay. Looks like we have a training seminar for the sewer department employees. Rob?
Thank you. The sewer department is seeking approval to send sewer department employees Dan Wingenbach and Eric Pham to an inflow and infiltration seminar on November 22nd, 2022. This seminar will be held at the Ambassador Conference Center in Erie, PA, and the cost is $300 for both employees. Funds for this will be taken out of the sanitary sewer training expense budget. It is my recommendation to send these 2 employees to this event.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to approve this training?
Motion to approve the training.
I'll second.
Okay. Mrs. Clear?
Yes.
Mr. Olet? Okay. Executive sessions were held on November 3rd, November 10th of this year to discuss various township matters. And I see we have a volunteer fire department recognition retroactive to November 5th. Westlake Fire Department, 85 years, and West Ridge Fire Department, Gary Walters, 50 years. I don't have anything in my agenda packet. I didn't know if, Dan, did you have something to add or
Yeah, sure.
cover that? Okay.
I'll speak to that. First, congratulations to the Westlake Fire Department on 85 years of service. Westlake is one of 5 departments in Oak Creek. The first formed back in 1937, and over the next 5 years, the other fire departments started operations. But that's quite a milestone, and we owe a debt of gratitude to the department and all its current members and past members for their service to Mill Creek Township. The second thing I want to do is recognize firefighter Gary Walters of West Ridge. Gary celebrated 50 years of service with the fire department. That's an achievement that very few people are able to, make it for 50 years in a volunteer organization. And Gary's certainly been a major component to the Westridge operation. Gary's a past chief, and he's also a retired employee of Mill Creek Township. He was the superintendent of the streets department. So congratulations to both Gary and the Westlake Fire Department. And both of those recognitions were also recognized by Senator Laughlin's office and Representative Pizarro's office for their achievements. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, hats off to the Westlake Fire Department and also Gary Walters. Very good. Kim, did you want to add anything to that? Or?
Yes, I guess I just wanted to say congratulations to the Westlake Fire Department. I was unable to attend, but I know, I believe Bach, I know Captain Mook was able to go. That's right. Sorry, Deputy Chief Mook was able to go and present them with a citation. And so we were honored to be a part of that. And celebration that they had. And then again, Gary Walters, thank you very much for your service. You know, if you were looking to also help out your community, another way is by becoming a volunteer fireman, fireperson. I know that there is a national shortage of volunteer fire people at this time, and you know, I know all of our departments would appreciate anyone who's willing to serve that calling. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Solicitor Communications, anything further, Mr. Shaw?
Nothing on my end, thank you.
Okay. Citizens to be heard. Anybody in the audience would like to speak? Okay.
Dennis McAndrew, Milford Township citizen. Earlier, you approved LECOM tax assessment thing, and in the some years that LECOM has existed, nonprofit status, they slowly have gobbled up quite a bit of Peach Street and surrounding areas. And I want to know, have we? Because I don't know all the details. I know they participate in the pilot program, but they're also taking a lot of businesses and homes that were tax bases that are now gone. And how, I think the replacement ratio of what's been taken and what's been replaced, I mean that's a lot of revenue. Has it been renegotiated recently? I mean, is it on the plus side? I mean, a lot of, like in my area, there's 6 homes that are gone now that they pay taxes. And now a parking lot.
Yeah, the pilot program is set for specific properties, so that hasn't changed. And those are properties that I believe involve, the hospital and other related type properties. The properties that they've acquired that are separate from that typically remain taxable at some level. Obviously, if they do a demolition and remove a building, there's some decrease in value, and there's really not much we can do about it from that perspective. Those really aren't part of the pilot because they're paying the full tax rate, and the settlement here involves some of those properties and agreeing on what the assessed value of those properties should be. I think the Assessment Appeals Board came up with a number that the school district thought was too low, so they ended up filing an appeal, and this was the result of the parties settling on a number that they all could agree to. And that happens fairly frequently with a variety of properties, not just LECOM. So that's in terms of how the structure and how the mechanics of it works. That's usually how it happens. The properties that are in the pilot are typically viewed by LECOM as exempt properties, meaning they don't believe they should be taxable at all, as distinguished from properties that aren't exempt, but they're challenging what the assessment of the property is on which their taxes are based.
Oh, and could the whole Brace Milk Creek, the zoning thing and all that, according to those maps, you only have so much zoned certain areas, and only so many zoned resident, and LECOM seems to be acquiring a lot of it, and it's going to, the future, limit a lot of potential revenue. I mean, for years, prior supervisors used to almost make fun of Erie for having so much nonprofit property, and LECOM's acquiring huge chunks of lands little by little, and before you know it, they're growing quite a bit. And I don't want to hear, oh, we didn't see this coming, or oh, gee, who would have thought? And
yeah, and you need to understand that just because LECOM's a nonprofit doesn't necessarily mean that they're completely exempt from property taxes for all the properties they own.
A house, I would assume, would pay a higher tax base than, say, a parking lot.
It may depend. I don't know the specifics of that. That may or may not be true, but it depends on the use and so forth. But typically, parking lots are taxable, and they don't. It's not treated as exempt in terms of not taxing it at all. But we certainly monitor the pilot from a pilot perspective when that agreement gets renewed, and again having discussions with any entity that's in a pilot to discuss what the taxes should be in relation to that. But again, from a non-exempt property perspective, if they buy the property, they're still paying taxes on it. The question becomes, what's the assessed value? And there's there's not a whole lot that we can do with it. And then once they build on it, assuming they build a structure or something that's, not exempt-based, then you will have additional tax revenues, so.
Right, I just didn't, I just want to make sure that we're not painting ourselves into a corner as a township or a city, because even I've noticed in like I said, I live near that area, and, as Kim pointed out earlier, there's 55,000 residents in Melkirk, but we're not a booming population. I think overall in Erie County, I don't know if Melkirk, but it has shrunk. And as like I said, there's 6 residents that are now gone, homes, which I think on average say 2 to 4. That's 20-some people have now gone from that area, and I know of several. They moved to Greenfield Township and Waterford. So I just don't. I want to see the continuation of positive, and not paint ourselves into a corner and then years later blame the other supervisor. Well, they approved it was their fault. They did it. We didn't do it. And making sure that we have the foresight of not letting LECOM run ripsaw over everything and take over and become this huge, like GE is to Lawrence Park, where they pretty much dictate terms. Or now, I'm sorry, from my age, Lab Tech.
Yeah, the challenge again is, as a municipality, there's very little we can do.
Yeah.
What we're effectively doing is following what state law says we can do, and to the extent that we can do it. So if a nonprofit wants to buy a piece of property and use it for an exempt purpose, there's not much we can do about it, other than to ensure that the exempt purpose fits the requirements of an exempt purpose.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Dennis. Any other citizens to be heard? Okay. Call for an adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We are adjourned at 10:36.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, Mr. Chairman.
Tough shoes to fill.
Feel better, Dan.
See ya. Thanks.